Workshop 5, Presenting Lesson Content, Part 2. This session begins with a warmer, and in this warmer you will ask the participants to revise the phrases that they used to emphasize something is important. So they will share information about themselves and use the phrases, "This is important, please remember this," these kinds of phrases with their partners. So a 10-minute warmer. Then the session overview. Sorry, let me go down. The session overview and lead in, and this will consist of a group discussion of questions about textbooks that teachers use. So it could be quite a lively discussion. Give them just 10 minutes for that. And remember, if you're going to have a full class or a plenary discussion, keep it as short as possible, because it can eat up an awful lot of time. The next stage, 3, listening experiments. So this is looking at the language for describing experiments. It will begin with a matching task. So they have to match things. And then a gap fill. So putting the correct words into the gaps. As always, get them to check their answers with their partners. They then go do an ordering task, so they have to put steps into the correct order. They will listen in order to check, and then you can get them to check with their partners again. So I would like you to be getting them as much into the habit of checking with their partners as possible. Stage 4. So now here we are looking at a grammar area, and we're looking at what we call the zero conditional. It's the most simple, the simplest of the if sentences. The zero conditional, which consists of if, present simple, present simple. If you heat water, it boils. So it's talking about the consequences of something. If you do something, something else happens, when this is always true. So in the participant's book, or in your trainer's book, you have these phrases, and you will need to model and drill these phrases. If you add salt to water, the water becomes denser. If you drop an egg into this salty water, it floats. Okay, so these are what we call the zero conditional, consisting of if, present simple, present simple, when we talk about the consequences of actions, which are always true. Stage 5 is called moving on, and here you're going to be looking at the language of transitioning between phases. Here you'll get the participants to work in pairs, get them to check their answers with each other, with other pairs, and you will drill some phrases. So let's start with, let's move on to, that's the end of my description. Okay, so these are phrases which you will model and get participants to repeat. So you will drill these phrases. The final stage is a long one. You have 50 minutes to do this. It's going to take a lot of preparation on the part of the participants. They are going to prepare a group presentation. So a presentation which they will deliver in a group. So that's why you have a lot of time. Not so much time for the preparation, but actually delivering the presentation will take a lot of time. So be aware of that. Make sure you've got enough time to do it. In the plan, you have 50 minutes, and that is realistic. You will need 50 minutes. The session finishes, as ever, with the reflection and review, where the participants draw up an action plan, which will commit them to using some of the ideas presented in this workshop. Okay, so that was workshop 5.